And so it begins, the craziness. Is Courtland Sutton moving on from his time in Denver next year when we turn on the Broncos? Are we going to see a new number 14 at wideout? That and so much more in this video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ben, and I am a lifelong Denver Bronco fan, born and raised in Westminster, Colorado. During COVID, my family and I relocated to Michigan, and I missed talking Broncos so much with people around the water cooler at work that I'm like, I got to get this out somehow. So I started a YouTube channel. Helps me out a ton if you like and subscribe so you don't miss a single second of the news. And wherever you are, it truly helps me out, and I've had a blast doing this. So let's dive into the news of the day, and that is the Denver Broncos are in some cap trouble. We have about $60 million in cap that we need to cut in order just to get baseline. Before we can even talk about, can we get Danielle Hunter? Can we get Josh Allen from the Jaguars? We got to get just back to even, and that is all ramping up and happening quickly. Then I think we've seen some crazy things happen in the NFL that a lot of people didn't predict. That is a lot of top wideouts who everyone was coveting and hoping to be able to get in free agency were signed to long-term deals or given the franchise tag, which means the Denver Broncos now have some assets. When you have these people hoping, oh, I'm hoping I can get T. Higgins. I'm hoping I can get Mike Evans. Oh, I'm hoping I can get, Pittman from the Colts. All those dudes are on long-term deals now and are back with their teams, which means we now don't really even have a good wide receiver in free agency, which makes a Courtland Sutton, which makes a Jerry Jeudy a lot more valuable. So coming into the offseason, I'm not sure if the Denver Broncos were going to move on from Courtland Sutton, but now that I think they see that this stock is going to the moon like it's Dogecoin during the pandemic. So let's look at what has gone down over the past couple days. So it feels so eerily similar to how the Russell Wilson stuff went down that it's crazy. So we saw the night before Russell Wilson, it was announced the Denver Broncos moved on from him. He scrubbed all of the Broncos emojis and the descriptor that says Denver Broncos quarterback, all that was scrubbed from his accounts. He didn't go back and delete pictures of himself in a Broncos uniform, but we all saw through that. We also heard Sean Payton talk about our next quarterback. Right now, look at some of this same exact language that happened here. We see Courtland Sutton change his bio to right here. And it says that Courtland Sutton's bio reads, "I'm a God-fearing man on a mission. What's next?" So again, what's next? A lot of people are reading into that. Like he took out the Denver Broncos wide receiver from his bio. Maybe he just wanted to switch things up. Maybe he wanted to stand in solidarity with Russell Wilson. He was named in Russell Wilson's goodbye letter. And a lot of people have been like, ooh, that's also telling that he was named in there. He was one of the only players name dropped in the entire Brandon Marshall interview about someone who had inside information about Russell Wilson being asked to open back up his contract. So all of these things are kind of adding up to the fact that Courtland Sutton could be on the move. So here is his Twitter bio. Again, you don't see any Denver Broncos emojis or let's ride or anything like that. And then his next, his only tweet is another one. So again, very, very cryptic. People are reading into this and saying he didn't go through and delete past pictures of him in Denver Broncos uniforms, but then he wouldn't have any pictures of him playing football because he's been a Denver Bronco since he was drafted. Like it would be pictures of him back in his SMU days. So like I mentioned here, everyone thought Mike Evans was going to be hitting the free agency market for sure. Tampa came out and signed him, which probably also means they're going to re-sign Baker Mayfield. And if you just look here, this is the free agency list of different top prospects. And you see Higgins back with Cincinnati on the franchise tag. The next guy, Michael Pittman Jr. Y'all remember Michael Pittman Sr. Like he played for the Denver Broncos for a hot second when I was in college, I think like 2008. And he just had like the biggest guns you've ever seen in your life. Well, he also was signed to a franchise tag, and the Colts said they're going to give him a long-term deal. Like I just showed you, Mike Evans is off the block. So now your best bet is Marquise Brown, who I think has been kicked around and just shown that like he's a good, straight line runner and he can get open, but he is kind of flamed out and not worked whether he was with Baltimore or again with Arizona. So it's like if you are one of those top teams hoping for a really a difference maker at wideout, you now are down to you really going to bet on Hollywood Brown right there? I don't think that is a great move. So the question becomes, all right, where are these places that we're hoping to grab one of those free agents? Because that can be our great predictor for who's going to be bidding for Courtland or Jerry Jeudy, which we'll get to here in a second. So we look here, and the top landing spots for Mike Evans or for if you look for Pittman, or even before that for Higgins, the top landing spots were the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh, that would hurt a lot. After Tyreek left, they have not found a replacement for that at wideout. They had Rice kind of show some flashes, but a young guy. You just saw Valdez-Scantling and drops, and that's what really makes Pat Mahomes run to the Super Bowl so impressive, is that there wasn't a single wideout on that team who you were like, he's good, And I just think Travis Kelce is a year older next year, and tight ends, as his brother just retired yesterday, 2 days ago, like that. So there's not a lot left in Travis Kelce's legs. Pretty soon Travis Kelce will be doing his own Eras tour just with his girl Taylor. But so Kansas City, that would be very, very painful. But then here are the other landing spots, that places who were going to make a run at Evans or a run at Campbell or a run at Higgins. And that's Chicago Bears, Carolina Panthers, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. So interesting there that what type of draft capital could we receive from one of these teams? And that makes that exciting. Like I have loved Courtland Sutton. I felt like his jump ball skill, the excitement with him and Drew Lock. Remember when Drew Lock would throw sweet jump ball passes to him and then like put on his backpack and do the Buzz Lightyear thing? He's just been a staple here, and I would hate to see him go. But if the Denver Broncos can start loading up draft picks, and that is how we really get over this dead cap thing, is that if George Paton can redeem himself by having another draft like he had when he got Quinn Meinerz and Pat Surtain, like his first year draft, he's going to have another shot at that. And can he have more arrows in his quiver that he's talked about wanting? And so looking here at our cap issue, here you see that we're 60-ish over the cap with this Russell Wilson cutting that just happened. So we obviously are going to need to extend or adjust the contract here with Garrett Bowles. And we'll see here what that kind of does here for us. And you can see that's not what I wanted to do. Let's jump down here to Courtland Sutton. So if we trade Courtland Sutton just like that, that's going to save $7.5 million on our cap. And we save no more money by cutting him or trading him. It's the same amount of money. The other interesting thing is that I think Courtland Sutton is the fan favorite, but if you look at who is actually probably Sean Payton's favorite, it's Jerry Jeudy. That even with all the smoke and the stuff that happened with Jerry Jeudy being in that fight with Steve Smith, remember during our Thursday night football game, like Sean Payton throws dudes under the bus whenever he wants to, and he never threw Jerry Jeudy under the bus. In fact, the first time we heard Sean Payton dog on Russell was after that Houston game because Jerry Jeudy was open so many times. You also remember at the trade deadline, Adam Schefter said a lot of teams wanted Jerry Jeudy then, and we didn't trade him. So what would be the difference there? And we save less money by trading Jerry than we would trading Courtland Sutton. So it would be very, very painful for sure. But I think we are at the point now where we gotta crush this draft, and the more ammo we have in this draft, the better. So question to all y'all in the comments is, how would you feel if the Denver Broncos moved on from Courtland Sutton? We look here, the Denver Broncos had the highest paid wideout room in the entire NFL, and our top wide receiver was Courtland Sutton, and he averaged like 46 yards a game, which if you had him on fantasy, you know that's a pretty big letdown for your QB1 to be averaging that. He's another year older, and we know that, 20, when a wide receiver gets over 30 years of age, their value truly drops, and you see how quickly Hopkins dropped, how quickly I truly was surprised that Mike Evans got re-signed, because he's hitting that 29, 30 age. So I do think the Denver Broncos will move on for him. How would that sit with you? And what would you be happy with? Like, would you be happy with a second? Would you be happy with a third? What do you think we can get for him, especially knowing that now there's all these teams who really wanted a wideout, and the top 3 free agents are off the board? And then lastly, I just got to, you guys remember Michael Pittman's stats. Just check out these guns, right? You remember this gun show? A lot of people tell me like I'm kind of built like him. Let me know in the comments. And Broncos country, let's giddy up. Oh, I got to dunk it next time. I got to go straight to the rack and dunk it.